The Struggling Artist Record Club is a vinyl record subscription service where I hunt and curate the best punk and punk-adjacent music out there and mail their record to your door each and every month. Imagine finding your new favorite band from across the country without ever having to leave the house. It doesn't get much better than that. The excitement of discovering new music just got that much easier. As a member of the Struggling Artist Record Club, you are going to receive some of the best music you've ever heard from bands you may never even heard of. Whether you've been collecting records for years or just starting out, the Struggling Artist Record Club is designed specifically for you. And right now, all new members get a Struggling Artist Record Club exclusive along with the monthly selection. So head to StrugglingArtistRecordClub.com, pick a membership, and start building that collection today.
You're listening to the Struggling Artist Podcast.
People need to be entertained. They need the distraction.
With your host, Trev Allen.
I wish to God that somebody would do something to block out the voices in my head for 5 minutes.
Hello, everybody. Today, our guests are Pat, Gary, and Drew from the band Man v. Ghost. Boston rock and roll band. They're really good. This conversation was awesome. I had a great time talking with them, and we talked a lot about their latest or their debut EP, Songs from Sound Pond. You can find that now streaming and on vinyl. A gorgeous, like lavendery disc. Awesome. Totally recommend you go get it. This is episode 422 of the Struggling Artist Podcast, Struggling with Man v. Ghost. Man versus Ghost, or is it Man v Ghost, or like is that like
Man v Ghost or Man versus Ghost, whatever you want to call it.
Cool. All right,
there are a lot of bands with Man versus Ghost, so we opted for Man v Ghost. So
it sounds like someone like a prominent figure's name, like Man v Ghost. You know?
Yeah. we were like, why do we need the S? Let's just use the V.
Yeah, why not? And the other thing I'm going to get at right now is like, are you guys going to have a band camp?
Yeah, we're gonna put up a Bandcamp soon. Once the EP is gonna be streaming, and we're gonna get a Bandcamp up once the EP is up and streaming. I was kind of waiting for that.
Oh, okay.
Basically.
Cool. Yeah. So like, Drew, you were saying sponsor. I don't have State Line Records is our sponsor, but like
that's a great sponsor.
I'm always talking about Bandcamp. They should sponsor me. Like I am.
They should.
Like I have like. I don't know, close to 900 titles in my library from Bandcamp that I bought. And like, cause I'm about buying at this age, I'm about buying the music, right? Like I have to make amends for all the times I stole it when I was younger, I guess, you know, and I didn't
shoot them an email, right?
So, yeah.
I mean, the answer is always no if you don't ask.
Yeah. Everything you ripped off Napster in the early 2000s.
Yeah. We all got to pay for our Napster sins.
Yeah, totally. I have so many Napster sins. It's
that would be a good band name, the Napster Sins.
That is a good band name. Yeah, actually, that could be a good podcast too. Like you just talk about, like, you know what I mean, like, the music you stole, and then how you made up for it. You know,
that can be our alternative name. Yeah. The Napster Sins. Like when we get big and famous and we show up to some club.
Yeah, there you go.
The Napster Sins.
We need a name for another EP. There you go. Title that.
Yeah, that is a good name for an EP.
That's a great name.
How long have you guys been writing songs for this project?
A long time now. I mean, we've been through like a few renditions. I mean, it originally started as just a random sort of like COVID event, us being in situations like this and having nothing to do. And then Drew and I started passing back and forth music, basically. And we couldn't really get together at the time. So I started throwing vocals on Drew's stuff. And then eventually Drew was like, hey, and he texted a bunch of people, Pat included, our late friend Paul Christian and Dave Norton. And he messaged us and was like, hey, I think this would make a good band. Here's some demos. And we dropped those demos in, and then we started writing at the Doghouse in Waltham, Frank Pino's place. And so we originally, we have 5 songs, 4 of which we play in our set that we demoed. 2 of the demos are up on just online, like streaming. And then this EP is like, we got Chuck in the band, and we just started writing, and we had like a good roll with writing. And so we kept banging stuff out. And I mean, we actually have a lot of songs in the till, but we recorded these 4 because we wanted to get something out in the world, so, and we wanted to kind of push that. And we're probably going to be headed back into the studio, hopefully within the next few months.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So like 2020, 2019, I think I started talking to Gary and sending him music. And I had all these like,
it was May of 2020. I looked it up.
Oh,
I looked up your emails.
All right. I had a bunch of material. Just kind of, I write like every day. I have an insane library of material, but there was some stuff that I was kind of saving to see if Lost City Angels was going to do anything, and I really liked the songs, and I was kind of waiting around, and nothing was happening. So then COVID hit and all that, and I was like, I just want to get these songs done, And so I sent them. I didn't have like lyric structure or anything like that. I just had like what I put together on GarageBand, like here's the basic premise. It's kind of how I write. Like I like collaborating with people, my friends, stuff like that. So I was like, hey Gary, what can you do with this? And he sent it back to me, and I was just like, oh my God, like this, what Gary comes up with for vocals are shit that like I would never think of. And it always blows me away at like what he does. I'm like, oh my God. And then every member after, I think the songs were just like a baseline to start with, like you need a starting point. Like I just had to get it going. And that's how it started, was that,
And I love an excuse to hang out and not work. And so COVID was like the ultimate for me, like make stuff club. I was like, I'm all over this. And I just was so down for recording music.
That's awesome.
A musician's dream.
So, are you guys in other projects too? I know, Drew, you have Diablo Gato, but do you guys have other music projects going on?
I play in Bird Language. I don't know if you know that band. Yeah, and I've been playing with them since like 2015, I think. Is it that long? I don't know. Time is a thief.
They're a great band. You guys, they got some vinyl out. You should definitely check them out.
Yeah.
They're a big reason. I mean, I love Pat as a person, but seeing him play in that band, I was like, I fucking dig that dude right there.
Yeah, they're unbelievable.
Yeah, they're awesome. So definitely, check it out.
Yeah.
Some good stuff.
Thank you.
What about you, Gary?
I'm not currently in any other active projects. This is the project I'm sticking with right now,
Yeah.
And I don't know, I'm having too much fun. Like it's kind of like, for me, it's like peak project. I get to hang out with all my friends, and I really like the music. And Mark Flynn just joined the band, who's like one of my best friends. He married my wife and I see him all the time. And it's like, oh my God, I just want to hang out with these guys.
It is so fun.
So yeah. And Dave, I've known Dave. I've known Drew for a long time. I've known Drew since I was like 20. And I've known Dave since I was in high school, because he played in this band that my friends were in on the South Shore. And I met him at random. He just like showed up in my life, and we've been kind of part of each other's lives ever since. So it's just cool.
I like when the chemistry with a band is just like it's family. You know what I mean? Like I love when I see that, and like because sometimes I've had a lot of bands on this podcast, and like most of them have that dynamic, but like sometimes they don't. But it's still there, but it's just like it's more like a business than it is like a family kind of thing. And I think being able to create with people that you care for is one of the best feelings. This is from someone who writes solo by himself all the time, but whenever I get to collaborate, like it just really hit home a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's always a fun, and like you want to have fun with it, right? Like you don't want it to be business all the time, and like
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we've all done. Sorry, Pat. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I think we've all done different things. Like, you know what I mean? We've all done other projects, and I've had other projects, but like there's something about this band that I really like, which is that our families hang out together. Like where all of our family, our family, the families are musical, and like we're just all love being around music. So you could come to one of our shows and the whole gang is at one of our shows. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter where it is. Like if it's 21 plus, we get them in.
Yeah. Sneak them in the back, old school.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Awesome. Like at this point in our lives, what are we doing? Right? We're doing this to really enrich our own lives and our family's lives. And being around these dudes with my kid is like it's like the best. It's one of the best things ever.
Yeah. For sure.
So you guys just did a listening party, like a live listening party though, right? Like in person playing the music, right? For the album. Was that how that
Yeah,
went?
it was awesome.
Yeah, I
Gary and me both just like, man, we gotta do this we gotta do these songs acoustic. And I was like, okay. And then finally we had to practice doing it to like get ready for this. And Mark had showed up, and I was blown away with how it sounded. Like if you have a good song, if you got a song that sounds good acoustic, it's going to sound great electric, right? So the acoustic stuff was like just incredible and sounded so cool. And with Mark joining in right at that time when we were going to do this, our friend Patrick, he's part owner of a bar called the New Republic. And he was like, oh, you guys could, we had heard like some friends of ours had a great time there doing like a listening party. And they did like an acoustic set. So we're like, oh, I'd love to do that. I love Patrick. Like, I love that spot. And if you've never been there for like one of these things, go. It is so much fun. They have a great setup.
That bar is awesome. It's just,
it's so
like Inman
perfect.
Square in Cambridge.
Yeah. And also the food is great. They got a full bar, all that stuff. Like they got everything you need. But they have this cool room off to the side that you can like do like tiny little events in. So we were, asked our friends, and we did an acoustic performance in there, and the place was packed. I was like blown away because you never really know how things are going to happen. But the second we went on, I look up and I'm like, oh my God, like the whole room was full all the way back.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
It was pretty awesome.
It was awesome.
It's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
So the record comes out on the 1st. Is it April 1st?
Yeah, it'll be up streaming on the 1st.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right,
you can buy it now though if you want.
Yes, you can pre-order it now. Yeah. So this is going to come out right after the album. So if you guys want, can we talk about the songs? Is that cool?
Sure. Yeah.
All right, cool. So Drew sent me over the songs today. First off, I'm going to say like I think it was Voices Calling You is like a power ballad. I love it. I listened to that the most. I listened to that like 10 times today. Like since when I started listening to it, and that's a great song. So we'll start. Drew, you gave me the order I got was Rabbit Hole, Voices Calling You, Bridge on Fire, which was that already out as a single? Was there a demo of that out?
I think 2 of them were already streaming, but we had them redone for vinyl. So we had them remastered and everything.
Cool. Yeah, and Catch the Wave, right? Catch the Wave was the other one. So let's run it down. We'll get back to Voices Calling You, but let's start with Rabbit Hole because again, that's another song. And like your sound is like it's just good rock and roll. I feel like it's just like there's nothing like it's not gonna like you guys aren't really pigeonholing yourself. It feels like, right? You're just kind of opening it up and playing how you feel, and
Yeah.
the song.
Why limit yourself? Don't paint yourself in a corner.
Yeah. So, but so let's start with Rabbit Hole. Tell me about that one.
A Rabbit Hole started off by our good friend Chuck, actually. And Chuck is so good at this. And a big part of, I'm sorry, I got to pivot here, why I love playing with him in Diablo Gato when I, invited him to come join this, is that Chuck will come in with just a riff, like a hook of a song. And immediately, like all of us were like, that's a song. And we wrote it right then and there. Like it just, I love that. It's like lightning hitting, and it's just like, bam, that's it, go. And everybody knew exactly what we were going to do, how we were going to do it, what the energy was like. Gary already had like a vocal idea on it, and like it just materialized in no time. Like I love that. That's like my favorite scenario.
And often he'll like Chuck doesn't get to like noodle around on his guitar at home, and so when we're at practice, he's just like, we'll take a break, we'll be in the other room, and he'll be just playing some riff, and oftentimes he'll come out with a banger like that, and then we'll all just be like, all right, let's go.
Going back in the room. Yeah.
Yeah.
Breaks over. Get back in there.
Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah. Play it again. And
And-
you have to do it right away with Chuck because he'll forget,
Oh yeah, the amount of times he's like, I don't know what I played. We're like, you don't.
No. Lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
So all right, so Rabbit Hole started with Chuck and a riff.
Pretty much, yeah. It usually goes like we played in practice, and I would say like 70. I mean, somewhere between 60 and 80% of the form gets formed at that first practice a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool because like we've all been in songwriting bands, so like we're kind of a band of songwriters, and so what's really cool about it is that like what someone else might arrange, someone else has an idea. Like for me, like I'll be like arranging vocals and be thinking about like I feel like one of my best skill sets is that I'm an arranger. Like I can write music and I'm good at writing, but like arranging wise, like I've been in a lot of bands where like I might not necessarily be playing the guitar, even though I'll go home and play the guitar and arrange something, but I'm not like, I'm thinking about it in a different way, like a different vantage point than if you are playing guitar in a band and you're playing. And so like Dave will come up with something like his vantage point from drums is like vocals should start right here. And I'm like, it should, and then I do it and I'm like, that was like weird. And then I do it again and I'm like, I think that's like kind of awesome. And then, so it's really cool in that way. Like, it's like this weird discovery process because we all have a certain level of experience and it's just different. And to hear how a drummer might arrange a song is super relatable to a vocalist, but I just wouldn't necessarily think of it that way sometimes, or Pat does the same thing,
Well, and Dave also plays in bird language with me, and he kind of has that role, and he also is in a band called Ruin the Night. Just to plug Dave for a sec, but I've seen him do the same songwriting techniques. It's like same but different with each band, and he's such a talented musician. He always knows like he always knows when a song needs a bridge, or whatever, and he's just so good at producing that stuff.
Right on. All right, so let's get to the power ballad song. The voice is calling you. I don't know why. Like it just like
voice is chasing you.
Yeah.
Chasing. I wrote.
Yeah.
Did I write that? Yep. I wrote it. I apologize. I'm just.
That's okay.
That's okay. It's like I totally would have read it wrong.
Like, I'm always messing up things I'm writing down when I'm listening to it. I was just so excited about it. I guess like it was just that song and like, yeah. So let's. I'm happy because I was at work when Drew sent me the songs, and I'm happy I wasn't listening to him at work because I probably would have did something. I would. I get excited about music, so
that's cool. That's awesome.
I got in the car to ride home, and then I started listening to him. So, but yeah, so let's talk about voices chasing you. Did I say it right this time?
Yes, sir.
What did you dig about that one?
I don't know. It just it had this like real, to me, like a dramatic build up to it, right? And like, and it like, I mean, it reminded me of like, you know, I don't know, like a Home Sweet Home or like, what's that? What's the Skid Row big power ballad that I like? It's just had this like this build up to it, and I you know what I mean, and like I don't know, I don't know if I just didn't expect that to happen with it or what, but it just kind of took me on, you know, by surprise.
That's cool.
Awesome. Well, the good thing about you liking that one so much is we, and this is, I think, the first time we're really saying it out loud, we made a video for that song.
Oh,
We did that with Pat at his studio, and we just finished that up. And I believe April 1st, that's coming out?
we're gonna drop it the same day.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. That's awesome. So yeah, like what I don't know. I mean, was that the direction you guys wanted? Did you want to like write like a power ballad with this, or am I out of my mind? I'm not a musician, so Drew.
No, I mean, we just write it. Like we don't really like. Sometimes I hear voices chasing you, and because of the way we play it, like I know it's super ballady, but then I hear it and I'm like, well, that sounds like as big as Rabbit Hole, but like in a totally different way.
Yes.
Like, and it's like, and I don't know how to like. I don't really know how to square with that sometimes, but I'm like, well, I dig it. You know, it's awesome. We didn't intentionally do it that way. Like what happened was, this is another situation where Chuck had a riff, and we've like a group text, and whenever one of us writes something, we kind of send it in the group text. And there are these seasons when it's like a flood, and I really like coming, you know, down where I am right now, and I just sit and I even like voice memos that are on people's phones. I throw them into Logic and I just start singing on them. And that was like an arrangement that Chuck had that was like, you know, like an ABC arrangement. And I sang on it, and I just was like, oh, I just like put vocals on this, and I sent it to the guys, and they dug it, like the combination of what we did. And it was pretty ballady, but it had like this like weird, like ethereal kind of thing going on. And I was like, cool. Like, and it's hard for me because I'm like, it sounds cool like that. You know what I mean? Or what the hell are we going to do to it? And then we went to practice and we started playing it. And that was one of those songs that like we did where like the Dave arranging came into play. And I was like, oh shit, this song is awesome. Like in my mind, it was awesome and it felt good to play. And, but it was just cool. Cause like, I mean, I've been in a lot of very loud bands, and there's not a lot of ballads from those bands, but
yeah,
it's the type of song that I always wanted to write in a band and have it like not be weird in the mix of things like Rabbit Hole, you know?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So, no, yeah, I think it fits. I think it fits well. And like the songs that I had heard prior, like the ones that were already, you know, that were out on like Apple Music already, right?
Yeah.
And like I feel like, I don't know, it kind of like they do fit, and I like that. But like, it's definitely, I don't know, it stood out though too, right? Like it's got this thing, like maybe it bridges it all together. I don't know, really know how to describe it, but like, cause I feel like, with all right, no pun intended, but Bridge on Fire, like it has, to me, like it has like this almost like, alt rock feel to that song. And like, almost to like a little bit of not hard grunge, but like that softer grunge style that came out in the 90s. You know what I mean? And like, and again, like it's a song that they all fit together. And being a storyteller, like sometimes I'll hear just a single and I'm like, I like it, but I don't quite get it. And then when I hear like everything, it kind of makes the sense to me, and it brings that story out, right? So I feel like and just how these songs, in the order that I don't know if that's the order of the album, the way Drew sent it to me or not, but like
no, it just
isn't it? It is Rabbit Hole, isn't it? Or is it Voices first? Oh, hold on a second.
I guess that's what I'm saying. Is
I'm so ignorant. It's like literally right here. It's literally like right here.
That's awesome. I just like when I hear the songs together, like they make something for me, and it's like I could do that, and then probably get like a completely different story if I arranged the songs differently, and then be like, in my head and just be
Rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so on one side it's Rabbit Hole, and the second song is Voices Chasing You, and then on the other side it's Catch a Wave and Bridge on Fire are next.
Yeah.
And we recorded them at different times, and they honestly sounded like they went together.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I think like we're trying. First of all, we don't want all of our songs to sound the same. Like, it's not interesting, honestly. Like.
Yeah.
And I don't think that like I'm physically capable of like like a lot of like the music the vocals I write are a reaction to what I'm hearing. So like when we did those other songs that you heard, those songs were kind of put together in a different way because we were in a different place, meaning that like some of it was like we couldn't even be around each other at some points. So we were like demoing them and cutting them together, and then we went through this period of time where like we built this set list, and it was cool and it was awesome, and the songs are dynamic and they have like the same like differences and energies to them, but the EP is like us in a practice space, and it's the band and the people in the band reacting off one another, and the vocals sound really natural on those because I'm changing dynamically with them. You know what I mean? And then I get home, and sometimes I go and I record vocals after I get home right over the other vocals I'm singing in practice. And it creates all these layers, and there's other things you hear, and it's cool. And that's how Voices Chasing You came to be, really. Like once we brought that little demo to practice, we just hold it up to the microphone, play it to everybody, and everybody starts reacting to it. And it happened the other day. We're writing this new song called Girls Okay, and Mark shows up at practice, and we're just like, hey, I was like, can everybody just like, can we just only play with like guitar and the keyboard for a minute? And I'll just sing on it just so we can hear what everyone's playing, because once the drums are going and everything's going, it sounds loud and it's hard to hear in a practice space. And Mark was doing this thing, and we were like, let's just do it like that. It was all stripped down, and then Dave comes in with his drums at a certain point, and Pat comes in at a certain point, but it went from being this loud verse to like it went to being impactful. You know what I mean? Like dynamically impactful. And then you hit the chorus and it's like boom, and it's like you get launched, and it's really cool. And so that's kind of how that stuff came to be, I think, and why all the songs sound different, but it's the band. Like, I want you to hear Man vs. Ghost and be like, that's a Man vs. Ghost song.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I like about this band, you had mentioned the 90s, Trev. Like, there's a huge 90s influence, I think, in this band, in the sense of like what alternative was. Like, everybody wasn't doing the same thing. Everybody was pushing boundaries. No, there was no punk. There was no rock. There was no, all these categories and subcategories that kind of came on after that, hardcore, post-hardcore, emo. All this.
Right.
It was just alternative. It was like, do whatever you want. Go whatever you want. Like, it didn't matter, And I love that about this band. Like, there is no direction in the sense, it's an open forum. It's an open collaborative experience with a bunch of guys who love and respect each other, as friends, but also just as artists too, to like, well, we can share ideas together without, killing each other, which is, as artists and egos, it ruins bands, in my opinion, So love that that's not an element in this. And that's why I wanted all of these guys together, because I know them individually. And I was like, my God, if this works, I don't even care about numbers. I don't care about any of that shit. I care about the experience, and this experience has been incredible.
Yeah, that's all. It's like, it's almost so like I do a lot of like stream of conscious writing, and I feel like that's what you guys are doing now, right?
Mm-hmm.
What you're
totally.
doing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I don't think I've ever had anybody tell me like that's how we get these songs together. It's just we just start, one person starts and then the next person kind of gains in. I like that. That's I think Drew, to go back to what you're saying, like, yeah, there was like it was just rock music. It was just
Yeah.
alternative music, like rock.
I mean, you had Beck, you had Bjork, then you'd have like,
yeah, you have Nirvana in there,
and
then
Nine Inch Nails at one point.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, that's alternative.
Yeah.
It was, and
So, like, it was this grand, encompassing thing of just like, hey, it's not just, these categories. There's a whole lot of.
I missed that, and I think I pushed that a lot on the podcast. Like I'm just like, it's all rock and roll at the end of the day, right? It's just like
Totally.
and it's cool. And one of the things I love about living in New England, not the weather, because I can't stand the snow and the cold, but like the music community here is so like it's got everything, and like you can hear like little things,
very vast.
yeah, and it's just like it's an amazing, and you can put I love when a bill is so diverse, like it's like, because I want to hear different things. I've heard people at some shows, they get mad when like, why you don't want uniformed bands, like just that's it's like I want to have difference, and I want to hear difference on an album. Like I think it's a good way. In today's social media TikTok world, like everything is like it's single serving and it's like 45 seconds. So if you can have another song that's going to like change the whole scheme of things in someone's head and make them like, oh, what's going on now? You know what I mean? Like, I think that's a good quality to have,
Do you have a record from the 90s that does that for you?
From the 90s?
Like a record that you have to listen to from beginning to end. I'll give you one, and I just bought the vinyl of it.
Okay.
Was Beastie Boys' Check Your Head.
Yes.
Sure.
That entire record from beginning to end, I cannot skip a song. And it's the Beastie Boys, you know what I mean? But that album, I feel like, was considered alternative at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like What You Want came out. That was like that was the first one, right? But that whole record, every single song is the Beastie Boys, but in such dramatic different ways.
Mm.
They're playing jazz in there. They're playing,
they're
blues.
back pre-Beck. You know what I mean? Like, that album, like, I don't know, have you seen that Beastie Boys documentary where they're like talking about Check Your Head and how they decided to like write a whole record on their instruments, and then all of the things that are on that record are all them playing, and they're cutting it up, and it's like just a huge art project. It's insane. If you get a chance to watch, I think it's on Apple TV. It's really dope. Like, you'll just be like, oh my God, I didn't even know, like the world that they were inside of is like so different than your perception in a way, like they were like they were feeling like they were having all these peaks and valleys with their success. And meanwhile, we're all driving around in our cars listening to like Check Your Head and Paul's Boutique being like, these are the sickest albums ever. But for them, they felt like Paul's Boutique was so low. They didn't even, you know what I mean? And I'm like, dude, that's like what's one of like the best
crazy
records of all time.
Yeah.
If you are a Beastie Boys fan, all of a sudden you're like, Paul's Boutique, what is this record? And then you go listen to it and you're like, holy shit, this is amazing.
Yeah, for sure. So, Drew, to answer your question, I think of two albums that kind of pop off, like Beck Mellow Gold.
Yes.
Was one, because nothing on there was like Loser, right? Nothing else on that whole record was like Loser. And the other one is a lot of people, I don't know if people remember the Nixons.
I do remember them.
Yeah.
They had this like real like slow, like sad bastard acoustic kind of song called Sister. That was like their big hit. And I bought the album because there was no way to stream it and listen to it. So I bought the album, and the album was hard as shit. And I was like, this is awesome. Like, it was by far not my favorite song on the album after listening to it. Like, it had a lot of harder stuff on there. And like, I mean, it starts off.
Sometimes that's the curse of writing a lot of different songs.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
The one outlier, your Californication.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, why did they pick that for this single?
Right.
I'm just glad you said the Nixons, because for a second there, I thought you said Mojo Nixon. I'm like, oh, buddy, what? He only had the one song, dude. He only had the one song.
Yeah,
Elvis is everywhere.
Yeah, those are the two I think of when I do that. And that, you know what? And I think we need more of that, man. I do.
Yeah.
I think we need, like, enough with the,
But also, do you see today that like albums, like see that anymore, and it
don't.
bums me out. You know, I mean, I sent the vinyl to Mark Lind, and he was just like, "I love this, and the only thing I hate about it is that there aren't more songs." And I was like, "You are an asshole," but you know, he's right. He's right. You know, but things have changed so much since then. You know, before it was an album, and you got all your, you got all your cannon, and you're ready to fire things away. You had a game plan. Your armies were set up. Like, it was a whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's just like rapid fire. I just see everybody just firing off songs, here. And I'm like, because again, like you had said, everyone's attention span's so small.
Mm-hmm.
But in that, I think that just kind of like why we release things on vinyl is because you physically own it. It's something in your hand. It is not a file on a computer. And I feel like people who listen to records actively really listen to it because there's kind of a ceremony involved in playing a record. You don't just throw it on there. Like you want to listen to this record. You're going to sit down, get things ready, maybe pour yourself a drink, smoke a joint, and you're going to get in the mood to play a record,
Especially if you have like a U-turn like me and you got to change the belt speed if you want to listen to something. At a different
Yeah,
speed,
you know what I mean? But like with streaming and all that stuff, like it's great for, I think, people starting out and, you just want to get stuff out there or but it's good for just the quick listen. And like, it's not a quick listen isn't really listening to it,
Yeah. I want to be able to sit down with the liner notes. I want to know who's being thanked and with
the story. You want to be pulled into the world. I don't get that when I listen to stuff on Spotify or on any kind of streaming stuff. I get that when I listen to a record. I'm in there.
I used to feel like I got gypped if like I bought a cassette that didn't have an accordion J card in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to know. I want to know I want to see.
I love cassettes too, man. Those things take rules.
I did have someone on recently who thinks that there is a resurgence of like love for the album.
Yeah, I've been seeing it here and there. Random bands. God, I was trying to. Was it Reagan Youth? Somebody I'd just seen recently who had played, and they had new cassettes. So I'm like, that's cool. Not since I think Ron Lacer with the Run to the Litter comps that I.
Well, I mean, I've heard a lot lately about people buying stuff on Bandcamp and burning it to CD. I've heard like there are bands like shockingly selling CDs. I mean, Fishbone makes their stuff in everything that you could possibly think of. They intelligently, if you bought their last CD, they had an extra song on it because they wanted you to buy the physical thing because they're like, if you want to really support bands, you really support them by buying the thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's why Bandcamp is great, and so, my mentality about streaming is that it's just promotion. It's like radio. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not like radio, but it is kind of like I can go for a run. I can drive in my car. I can also put this stuff on there just like I would have listened to the radio, but it doesn't do any more than promote the band maybe. And the shit that bands have to do to like make their songs popular online it's not fun. You know what I mean? Like it's not fun for anybody. It makes it a schlag. And so having like that physical thing, it's a mental thing for the people that like your band, and it's a mental thing for you as a band. Like you complete a project and you have something physical, like to be like, let's go celebrate this. Let's go have a listening party. Let's go and give the people that like our music, our families, our friends, the people that dig our band, let's go do something different for them. Let's go do like a semi-acoustic set. And what was cool for that with us is like we kind of had the songs worked in that setting, but they had a different vibe. So we changed the vibe. They had the same vibe, but that's how Mark came into play. He came and played and we were like, that sounds so sick. Will you stay? And you know what I mean? Like, and now we're playing with Mark. Like,
can we keep you? Yeah.
Yeah, we were like, can we keep you?
Well, we were walking out of the practice space, and I think it was Chuck who was like, "So he's part of the band, right?" And we were like, "Yeah,
yeah,
that's awesome." Yeah, and I like I mean, art is storytelling in any form, and if you change, if by changing the sound of, like you said, like from electric guitars to acoustic, it's going to change basically the story that you're telling. That's a good quality. That's a really good quality to have as a band, I think. I don't think people, maybe I'm just too much into being like a storyteller. So I'm always thinking about these things, but I feel like a lot of people don't quite get it sometimes, but it seems like you guys do. And that's amazing. Yeah, and again, like going back to what we were saying earlier, like you guys aren't out there like, we are emo core second cousin twice removed, whatever. You guys are like, we're a rock and roll band. We're going to play some rock and roll music, and and you're going to have different feelings, and we want to feel different things, right? I don't want to listen. I don't want to have. I mean, I do. So there are some times where I want to listen to sad bastard music, and I want to be sad for the whole time. And there's great albums for that. But like sometimes I want to be on that roller coaster with you, and I think that's a good way to connect with people who are listening.
Yeah, and like you can hear our influences, like you've been talking about them, and you can hear where we come from. You know what I mean? We all come from like punk bands and hardcore bands, and played in ska punk bands when we were young. We are all influenced by the same things, and I mean, I started playing music with like the guys from the Unseen when we were younger. Like they were my friends growing up, and like we were playing 90s songs, any song that was easy enough for us to learn, we played it from the 90s. And then they started this punk band that got super awesome. And, so you can hear all of that in our music, and I love that. Like, I'm like, that's cool. This is like when I went to art school, one of my favorite teachers that I had, like in one of my first years, was like, don't worry about like, you should try to copy other artists because you're you. And when you do, they'll teach you new skills by doing that, but it will always come out of your filter, and your filter is never going to sound like that person. Like that's that own person's special identity, and I kind of feel like we have channeled some of that, like in in the music that we're writing. Like it's not intentional that it sounds like something, but there's music that I hear that I'm like, that sounds like Fugazi. Let's put a 3-part harmony on it. Why are we doing that? But and we always joke that it sounds we're the punk rock beach. We're trying to be punk rock Beach Boys.
All right.
We're like, yeah, man, punk rock Beach Boys.
Ask because like I a lot of when I talk to like we'll say younger folks who are out there and they're like, oh, they're doing this for the first time, right? We'll say like that, like and they're out there and they're doing this thing for the first time. Like there's motivation from all sorts of things they're pulling from, but like how like being and doing something for the love of it, like it seems like what you guys are doing with this project. Like how do you navigate through all the fucking shit in the world that's going on and be able to like still like kind of like, all right, we're still gonna do, like I have a hard time writing sometimes because like I'm just like, the world fucking is awful, everything's bad, and I write bleak shit, and you'd think that would be awesome for me, like a muse, but I have enough bleak shit in my brain, like I need some happy shit too so I can contrast it, right? So how do you guys just navigate through all this shit that's going on? Like
I've lived long enough to know that the world will always be shit.
Yeah,
you're always going to be navigating through it, okay? But, it's who you're navigating it with that really matters. I could easily have just as hard a time as you, Trev, like writing if I was just doing it by myself in a room, because when you self-isolate like that, when the world's burning around you, it burns a lot harder. You get with friends of yours that you love, like I'm doing with these guys and Diablo God, or any band, or any just going out to dinner with your friends, anything social to kind of bring you back to the reality of our day to day, that helps. I mean, go see a show, get your friends like, hey, let's go see a show together. Let's go see a movie together. Let's do something together. Togetherness is going to help you get through that. I know a lot of artists that self-isolate. I know a lot of solo artists, and, we're all crazy. come on, we're musicians. We're all nuts. But you can get lost in that real quick and it'll swallow you whole. It's not a good place to be. Like I said, be careful about hanging out in your head too much. It's a dangerous place to be. So try to get external. I mean, you don't have to be like a social butterfly, but you got one friend. Come on. And if you don't, call me up. I'll go out with you. We'll go down to Fuddruckers.
I've run into
I'll
you
get a
out
burger
there.
with you.
I've run into you out there a few times.
No, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like when we sit at home and we're looking into our stupid fucking phones or the news on the TV, we're just brainwashing ourselves into more of the bullshit that's being served to you. They want you to be this fucking stupid. So don't open your door to them. You know what I mean? I'm not saying like I understand war is happening. I think it's fucking terrible. I understand women's rights are getting everything's getting shit on right now. But I can't remember a time where it ever wasn't. It's always something. We lived through the AIDS pandemic. We've lived through so much crazy shit, and it just keeps getting crazier.
Yeah, I mean,
I tell you, it's just been like this. Oh, I'm 48 years old, and it's never gone down. It's just constantly kept going up.
So, I mean, when it comes to politics, your memory is only as good as the last president, the first president you remember voting for sometimes, right? Like we all grew up in like during the Bush years and those times, and we were like, this guy's an asshole, and now it's like, there's another psycho asshole, you know what I mean? And all this shit is going on, and like, so you're just like, yeah, but there was this other guy. There were like multiple of these other guys, like Dick Cheney, he just died. You guys know who that guy is? And you're like, no, you're like, that guy's called Darth Vader, So, but I had trouble like in the beginning when we were doing stuff with like, I was like, I don't really know I was having trouble writing lyrics, which I don't usually ever have trouble writing lyrics. And I felt like I needed to take like a different approach. Like if you listen to my lyrics, they're about like multiple topics. Like one song is like, voices chasing you or rabbit hole. They're coming from like different vantage points, but they make a story, that you might listen to it and be like, I think this is about that, and because I just feel like the world is more complex. You know what I mean? Like when I was writing lyrics when I was young and like kicked in the head, it was like, they were more straightforward. There was messaging in it, but like it was different, there's songs that were different and the times were different. So I could be like, here's one topic. I feel like there's so many topics in my head that it's like, it is the dangerous place that Drew's talking about. So,
I mean, Gary, you were my buddy because we were sharing music back and forth. We were both just sitting in our houses, COVID in full blast. And we're like, I got to do something. I got to create. I got to do something because just sitting here wondering if I'm going to die is driving me crazy,
Yeah. And I feel like to the Drew's point, like sort of like the part of our like objective with the primary objective of this band is to write good music. Like if it's not like serving our souls to start, well, like we're not then, and if everything is just external, then really we're just asking for acceptance from everybody else, but we're really not pleased with what we're doing. But so that's our primary goal, write good music that we're psyched about. And if all we do is that, okay, we're super proud of that. But as we've put out this release and we've been talking about what we want to do, there's like a natural sort of like hangout culture forming around things that we really like. It's like our families, our friends, and more people are coming, and we got a lot of support like right in the beginning. Like we have not played a ton of shows. Like we've been writing for a long time, but I don't even think we've played 20 shows. And like, but there is like this, like what at the listening party, there was a lot of people there, and that's because there's a culture being created that we really like and we miss, we all went to the Dropkicks, different shows for the Dropkicks. That's like a huge part of our like life community. And and we love that feeling when we go there, and we want people to have the same feelings when they come to our shows. You know, they like want to come hang out, and that's it. And it goes directly to what Drew's talking about. Is like fuck those guys. You know what I mean? Like fuck them. They're not going to help you. They're not going to do anything for you. We'll get into the mix, and we'll all help each other get out of this nasty headspace.
Community is everything.
So, kind of leaning into that, if I could, I'm going to get this out of the way because I realize you've been here a long time. The shows we got coming up, because like I said, we haven't played a lot, but this year we're planning on playing quite a lot, and we're hoping to keep it going with the release of the record now. We're kind of trying to get things happening. So April 1st, you heard, we'll be releasing that video, and social media will, have some stuff going. The EP will be streaming on several platforms. Also to sidestep, if you want to see me and Chuck play with Diablo Gato, we're playing at Taffeta, opening up for the Meteors. But pivoting back to Man v Ghost, more importantly.
Wait, what's the date of that? April
1st.
Oh, okay.
Same day. Anyway, April 10th, we're playing at the C-Note. That is 7 p.m. and that's all ages. And for the most part,
that's 21 plus.
Oh, that's 21 plus?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, my notes were wrong. And that's a Graveyard Barbecue, Nick and the Adversaries, and Old Horse, which is Mark Flynn. Then April 11th, the next day, we're playing in Worcester at the Raven, which I can't wait to do that. That's at 8 p.m. That's with Graveyard Barbecue again, Beagle Puss, and Hand of the Tribe.
Yeah, Graveyard Barbecue put that show together, so we're gonna meet some new friends.
April 18th, we're doing a show at Faces, and that's with Warren the Duke, Stapler, and Old Horse. March 19th, because I don't know if I'll be back again, so I'm getting it out of the way now. March 19th, the Thirsty First in Lowell, we're doing a 2 p.m. all ages show with Taillight Rebellion, Mass Spy, and the Farewell Drugs. So it'll be nice to Jesse's other band from Diablo Gato and us. We all get to play the same show together, which will be fun. And then I can't tell you much detail about this last one, but I'm super fucking pumped about it. August 7th, downstairs, Middle East. That's all I can say.
Okay.
But keep an eye out.
Okay.
It's fucking gonna be sick.
Yeah.
And the Faces show, we're headlining that show, and that is also all ages.
Nice.
And Stapler is Gary's daughter's band.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. I love Phases. I've run into Drew at Phases before.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a good
I
time.
live right down the street from it. I love it.
Do you? I do not. I am like 90 minutes away, and it's a tough.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, all right, I got to stop now and relax.
Yeah, I'm lucky. Like I live close to Deep Cuts and to Faces, so I'm always like, hey, let's play that. I just got to go down the street.
Yeah, we've never played the Raven, but like C-Note and Faces, like the people are great there.
C-Note rules.
Barbara that runs the C-Note rules, and Ryan and the rest of the crew over at Faces, they're unbelievable people. So
yeah,
we were like, those are two clubs we called immediately. And then the show that's at Thirsty First, that's Dave Wells, right?
No. That's Chris Murray. Chris Murray hit me up for that one.
Yeah,
old friend of mine.
Oh yeah, he's a good dude.
So he asked us if he wanted to do it. I'm like, hell yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, he was telling me about that.
We love a good all ages
driving up to the Dropkicks show on Sunday. He was telling me about that show.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. That's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one too. So
now we got Warren the Duke, which is Dan McCool's band. He was all out in the Dropkicks, doing his Blue Revolution stuff. And I don't know if Dave Norton's playing with him or not, but he had played drums with him too. So maybe he'll be doing double duty that night. I don't know, but he'll be coming from New York to play that show. So
that's awesome.
Looking forward to it. Those guys are awesome.
So what's next? Yeah, I know the debut EP is coming out, right? So, but like, and you said you had some songs you hopefully to get back into the studio this year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
This year.
We're just finishing up some work on them and then booking time. We're literally I think a week or two away from booking time and going down. So
nice.
I guess these guys all, we all got lives. We're all older gentlemen. We have some families to take care of and stuff. So organizing time is it's not difficult, but it has to be very tactful.
Well, and we're trying to approach it a little bit differently because number one, that exact reason, but we want to record more at once. So we really felt like we needed to like put something out in the world. And
it's hard to get like a whole week to, like just record, like they try to get as much as we can over a weekend,
Yeah. So Dave will be going down probably with someone else, maybe Drew even, down to Duggan's at Blue Banshee Studios and recording at least 4 songs. And then, he'll record 4 songs and then we'll go down and we'll all do whatever else doesn't get done that weekend. And then I'll go put vocals on it.
God, I love going down there. Yeah. He makes us like the best food.
Yeah, it's a great time.
Oh my God, it's like,
and I love his studio. I mean, it sounds great all the time. Like I've known Duggan since he was 15 years old. He was in Los Angeles with me. He's in Ruin the Night with Dave now, but he's great to record with if you're looking to record. Can't recommend him enough. He's really easy to work with.
Awesome. Where can people find you guys on social media? Where can they grab the record when it comes out? Or where can they pre-order the record right now?
You can get the record on, you can buy it on, we have a big cartel site. You can actually just go to our Instagram, go to our @ManVGhost. We've got the link in bio. You can go buy, it'll take you to our website and you can go buy the record there. You can go buy any merch you want to buy there. You can go stream what music we have up now, but the record will be out on April 1st and you'll be able to stream it. You'll be able to go watch video, all the dandy stuff at ManVGhost. That's probably the easiest way to go about doing it. We have manvghost.com and stuff like that too, but connect with us on Instagram. We're constantly putting stuff up there and just go to the link in bio and you'll see there's a whole library of stuff there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, listen, I hope everything kicks off well with the record, and I hope you guys want to come back when it's time to talk about a new one, or Absolutely. If you ever just want to come back and talk about anything, 90s music or whatever, just let me know.
Dude,
love it.
So I hope to catch you guys out there and catch one of these shows you guys have coming up.
Yeah,
so.
we'd love to go down the talking about 90s music rabbit hole, if you will, with you.
Right on. So, all right. Well, again, Gary, Pat, it was great meeting you. Drew, it's always a pleasure talking with you. I always feel better after I talk to you, Drew. I don't know. I think I might owe you some fees for my
I'm just paying it back, man. I just,
He's a therapist in another life.
Yeah. Oh. I could use that salary, I guess. So, Trev, anytime, buddy.
All right. Well, we'll talk to you guys soon. All right.
All right.
Cool,
all
right, brother. Take care.
All right, and that's the show. I want to thank Pat, Gary, and Drew again for being today's guests on the Struggling Artist Podcast. In the show notes, you will find links to ManVGhost. Pick up their music, buy it. I can't stress this enough. I know streaming's great, and we have a long talk about downloading music, so I understand it. But if you're able to, bands like this, they need that support. I think, and I think you will not be disappointed if you listen to this record. I want to thank the Struggling Artist Podcast team for everything they do with their various shows, dealing with my nonsense all the time. Chris Chavez at 716 The Sound, Jeff Bousquet at JRB Image, Aria Rad at Coffin_Salesman, Ryan Cowell at 13th Floor _Ryan, and Dave Anderson at Pinball_Punks. Thank you to Marcus State Line Records for being a sponsor of this podcast. Head to StatelineRecords.com. See what's brewing over there. There might be stuff brewing. There's definitely stuff for sale. There might be something brewing. I don't know. I don't know. Mark is such a busy guy. Whenever I'm like, hey, let's talk about the sponsorship, he can't. So I assume he's busy making records. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. And thank you to the band Losers Circle for always letting us use their song, The Great Illusion of Time, off of their album Took Long Enough. If you go to the StrugglingArtistPodcast.com, or if that's too many letters, podcasttsa.com. Yes, you can find a link to their Bandcamp so you can buy that record. People over at Patreon, thank you so much for supporting us over there. If you want to become a patron, head to patreon.com/podcast TSA. If you listen to this show and you're listening to this right now, thank you. I appreciate it. I know the whole team appreciates it. Without listeners, there would be no podcast, right? And then this would just be me. Well, I guess I'm still like I'm 8 years old screaming into the void. No, because there's 3 of you that listen, and I appreciate that. I really do. It comes to the bottom. Like we all appreciate people that listen, and it's cool because we have the new guys. You have Ryan and Dave now, and and they're getting into it, and they found their groove. And I'm gonna keep ranting. I'm gonna stop. Keep ranting. But I just want to say thank you, seriously. If you've reached out to us to tell us about how a podcast episode made you feel, or you discovered a new band, or whatever, if you want to, if that was like, if you reached out to us, thank you. Now I know what you're asking yourself right now, Trev. Where do we reach out? How can we reach out to you to tell you how much we love your show? Or how much we hate your show? I give you a few options. You could always email me, trev@thestrugglingartistpodcast.com. That is your electronic mail via the internet. Now, we have 2 other options too. If you're into phones and you want to leave us a voicemail, the number to call is 774-570-1552. That is the Struggling Artist Podcast hotline. I will not answer that phone. It's not even on. I got to find it. If you are not into, if you're I don't know, what do we call you? Like a younger millennial or a zennial or whatever the hell else year olds are. And you're just like, no, we don't talk on the phone anymore. All right. You can text. The number to text is also the same one to call. 774-570-1552. Let us know what you think. Well, it's time for us to get out of here. We have a song to play. Man v. Ghost was kind enough to give us a track off of their latest EP, Songs from the Sound Pond, to play at the end of the episode. Now, Gary had told me just to pick one, and it was hard, right? I would play the whole thing if I could, but I can't. And I know we talked a lot about voices chasing you, but I think we're going to go with Rabbit Hole. So, this is Man v. Ghost, opening track off of their album, Songs from the Sound Pond, and the song is called Rabbit Hole. Until next week, take care of yourselves. We'll talk to you then.
Thrown down the rabbit hole. Cast a spell from your throne down the rabbit hole. I am rage. rabbit hole. Cast a spell from your throne when nothing grows.